Philadelphia Eagles are Super Bowl champions. Eagles fans everywhere, this is for you.
And Phil.
What's up, guys? Dutchy talking in here. As always, God bless. Go Birds.
Let the celebration begin.
You are now listening to the 302 Birds Eagles postgame show with Jack and Dalt. Proudly powered by TickPick, the official fan experience partner of the Philadelphia Eagles. Now, let's take it to the show.
What is up, everybody? Face a little bit different this week. Dalt is at the game. He helped us secure a Eagles victory with his good luck charm. But what's going on, everybody? Eric, also known as Shard, here with the 302 Birds Eagles post game show. And what a gritty win. Kellen Moore, dude, like you got to fix something up before next week, because that was absolute dog shit that I saw on offense today. Defense kept us in the game. They won us the game overall, and we'll get into that in a few minutes, but just a lot to clean up before next week. Personally, before we get into everything, I think they should have played a quarter last week, but I get it. You don't want to risk injuries, but they looked rusty this week, dude.
Yeah, I agree. I feel like the first drive, starting the game off with a fumble recovery. The first drive was great. And then the second drive was great. And then the third drive, I don't know what Jalen Hurts was thinking. He went back to, that rusty old player. And the play calling wasn't great. And we couldn't really get much started until the last 5 minutes of the third quarter into the fourth quarter. But yeah, it was definitely a gritty game. Nice to get the W, but we got to do a lot better if we play, because if the Bucs win tonight, we'll play them. So we gotta prepare better next week, and hopefully we'll have a more substantial win next week. But it's great to get the W.
Yeah, and I mean, granted, I don't think Jalen Hurts was 100% out there. I really don't. It looked like he was just not progressing through reads towards the second, third, and fourth quarter. I mean, the one play to Jahan Dotson, and that'll bring us into our first topic of a wild card victory. His first read to Jahan Dotson, he progressed through the read, the O-line, it felt like Jalen Hurts had forever to be able to throw that ball. And then after that, it just the Packers kept bringing the blitz. They were getting through the O-line. Flags were ruining drives. I mean, looking at flags and penalties, we had 7 penalties for 64 yards. So just dumb, stupid flags that just should not have been called. But I mean, overall it was okay, I guess. But I wasn't confident. I wasn't confident at all going into the half. I was they're going to find some way to ruin this and let up the lead. I hate to say it, because I don't like to lean on this, but I will say the Packers being as banged up as they were this game kind of in the long run helped us out, but we also lost Nakobe Dean. So it's kind of what side of the coin do you want?
Exactly. And that's a thing, like you just said, they were so hurt. And the fact that we couldn't tackle, we couldn't do the basic stuff against a hurt team, especially when they had their best guard go out in the first or second quarter. And then, their top receivers all went out this game. So the fact that we couldn't really do much on defense is concerning to me, because obviously our defense is great and they played well. But again, they were on the field a lot. I think the time possession of the ball was way more on the Packers side than ours the whole game. And that can't be a thing because, the Packers would put a drive for 5-6 minutes, and then we would go on offense and 3 and out. So we can't be doing that. And to open the third quarter with a 3 and out is not good at all. But again, it was a gritty game. It is definitely a tough loss that Nakobe Dean's out. Ryan Burks played decently well. Definitely want to see a lot better out of him. But it didn't seem like the screws were all tightened this game for this whole team. And we can't be doing that, progressing further into this playoff run.
Yeah, I agree. And I mean, looking at team stats for both teams, total yards, the Packers had more yards. They had 302 yards compared to the Eagles 290. We'll get into turnovers in a second because that's a whole other topic. First downs, Packers had 17 first downs. We had 16. Time of possession, though, we actually, and it was really only by like 45 seconds. Time of possession, we had the ball for 45 seconds more. We held the ball for 30 minutes and 33 seconds. They held the ball for 29 minutes and 27 seconds. So, like, even overall in terms of time of possession, but turnovers, like, they fuck the Packers. I mean, like,
yeah,
that's the only props that I'll give to Jalen Hurts is that he didn't have any turnovers. Like, nobody had turnovers this game, and that's huge, especially in a playoff game, because if you turn the ball over and the Packers take advantage of it, it would have been a whole nother ball game. So
yeah, for sure.
But,
I mean, definitely would going back to this. I would definitely like to see Jeremiah Trotter Jr. Over Ryan Burks. That's all I got to say.
I mean, especially with Nakobe Dean being out.
Yeah,
I think Trotter should get more playing time because who's the backup for Dean? Do you know? I don't know.
Gosh, who's the backup for Dean? Is it Ryan Burks?
I think it is Burks.
Yeah, Josh said it's Burks then Trotter.
Yeah, I would like to see Trotter get some playing time. I think Dean did something to his ACL because just the amount of help that he needed coming off the field. And they said it was a knee injury too. So,
but
going
a big loss for us.
Yeah, but going into the next topic, next thing we're going to talk about turnover battle. That first special teams drive, dude, like that just set up the entire atmosphere for the game. Just forcing that turnover right out of the gate, taking advantage of it, driving down the field for the Jahan Dawson touchdown. It was huge. And then like Jordan Love just, I kind of figured coming into this game that Jordan Love was going to be a little bit shaky, especially when the news came out saying that he lost feeling in his throwing arm. And you could see it. There was a play where he went down, he hit his elbow straight on the ground, and he got up and like was shaking his arm. So I don't think he was 100% today. I really don't. But just you had so many injuries. You had one wide receiver go out, so you're down 3 wide receivers. You're down to your 4th and 5th string. He really didn't have much to throw it. He didn't really have anybody to throw it to. And I kept saying it during the game, but like Josh Jacobs just torched us, dude. Like the run game, he torched us. And I kept saying at the TV, I kept screaming at the TV, like you got to stack the box. You got to stack the box. You got to stop Josh Jacobs. And as long as you stop him, you're fine because they didn't have much wide receivers to throw it to. So, I mean, whatever.
Yeah, I mean, it's great. We definitely won the turnover battle. It was great, like you said. Opening kickoff, we got the fumble recovery, and then we had 3 picks. And we'll talk about it later, but our Quintana Bay got his first pick, which was even great. And I mean, Darius Slay, that one pick he had looked like he was the receiver out there, and that was a beautiful pick for him. And then Zach Bond. Zach Bond is playing obviously a Pro Bowl season, and he's been kind of our knight in shining armor on defense. But I mean, today, like you said, Josh Jacobs was definitely torching us. We could not get him down. We weren't going for his legs. He would just run us over. And we gotta improve upon that. And even though we won the turnover battle. We got to make it look a lot better than that, than a 12 point victory, because the way to the playoffs is going to get even harder and harder as these more teams get kicked off. So we gotta step it up and really show them that we are who we are. So that's all I got to say. I mean, defense obviously played phenomenal today, other than missing a few tackles. But it was nice to we got to give them props and let them get off the field a lot more than we have.
Yeah, and I've said it since the beginning of the season, but they gotta find a way to extend Zach Bond this whole season. And if you don't, it's gonna be a big loss, because I mean, this is the first season in years that I can remember where you brought in an LB and he's going to the Pro Bowl, he's all pro, and the Eagles really have not valued the position that Bond plays. It's been year after year where we're bringing in guys like last year. It was Shaq Barnett or whatever his name was. And
yeah,
and he didn't do much. So, I mean, like, you got to keep this guy, you got to keep him, and you got to find a way to do it. But going into the next topic, AJ Brown, dude, I know Saquon's on this graphic. I didn't make these graphics. Shout out to Dalt. I mean, Saquon's on here. I think Saquon was used fine. He had 25 carries for 119 yards, but AJ Brown, like, where the fuck was he? You could have had AJ Brown run slants. You could have had him go for the deep ball. I know that there was that one play where they it was like 3rd and 1 or 4th and 1 where they did the fake tush push and Jalen lobbed it up for AJ, and it was a little bit short. It was either short or overthrown, one of the two. But like, AJ Brown just did not do anything. Looking at his receiving yards, he had 1 reception for 10 yards. You can't do that going into the playoffs. You can't. Devontae Smith, I mean, he had 4 receptions for 55 yards, but just you can't not get your wide receiver 1 involved in some way in this game. And I get it. Jalen Hurts was probably still shaken up. It's his first game back. And Saquon Barkley carried the game. Dallas Goedert carried the game. I mean, Dallas Goedert had that nasty stiff arm to score a touchdown late in the game. But next week, man, you got to get AJ Brown involved. He was just on the sideline reading the book. Like, you can't have that. You can't have that.
Winter Excellence, great book. You should read it. But yeah, I mean, AJ Brown, I don't know if he was covered well or really, I did not know that. Josh said he brings that book to every game. So what I would like to see, I don't know if Jalen Hurts wasn't looking at him, but it's so crazy see how many targets AJ Brown got when you had Tanner McKee in and Kenny Pickett, and then when Jalen Hurts, our starting quarterback, it goes in, you don't target him. I mean, he had that nice reception when he was on his knees, practically catching that first down ball. But yeah, if we really want to make a name for ourselves, we got to get AJ involved. We got to get Devontae Smith more involved. We have to get Dallas Goedert more involved. It was great seeing Jahan Dotson score his first touchdown. That was huge. I mean, he's been playing very well the past 2 games, going to the week 18 game and then first game in playoffs. So yeah, we just got to utilize our weapons, because we have the best receiver tandem in the league right now, I think, and we haven't really utilized them. Again, I don't know if that's Jalen Hurts not really looking his way or what, but he had, I think, 1,000 yards this year, AJ Brown, and then Devontae Smith had like a little under that. But we got to throw the ball more. We got to, play Madden stoppable, where you run them first down, maybe second down, and then throw the ball. Like, we got to, I don't know, the play calling was very strange. And that was I like that progression of the fake tush push. I think we should use that a lot more. I mean, he was open, but he had 2 guys on him. So he has to be willing to get open and get that reception. Because I think if we see him being utilized a lot more than we have this past year, you will see night and day difference of this team, and they will rally behind him.
Do you think, because I just thought of this, Do you think Kellen Moore is too distracted with all the shit that came out this week with him getting interviews for head coaching?
It's a good question. Low key, yes. I think he is a little distracted. But again, you can't be distracted. You still have a playoff run to run, and you gotta put your blinders on and avoid that kind of questions you're asked, because that's why I said before, and you said it on last show on the comments, that like that should not be a thing. If you are a team in the playoffs, you should only be allowed to reach out to their coaches if that team is kicked out or if they lose in the playoffs or once the season's over. Because again, that's a lot of distractions. That's a lot of things to think about. Do you really want to be a head coach or do you want to stay in Philadelphia? So I personally, yes, I think that's a small distraction that he can't. We need to get him to avoid and not really fall into that.
I mean, me personally, if I was a head coach and I had the opportunity to become a head coach, I would be putting on some kind of clinic offensively. Like, put it on your resume. Like, you led the Eagles with a great offense to a Super Bowl. You won a Super Bowl, knock on wood. That's what I would be focused on right now. And if you want to leave this offseason, leave. But you got to help us get over that hutch first and win it all. And then you can put it on your resume. But before we get into our next topic, Mr. Dolt Holland sent in a video with Mr. KJ McCoy. So I'm going to play that real quick, and we'll get into the next topic.
So we're down here at SEPTA post-game. Eagles taking down the Packers. SEPTA's taking a little bit. But other than that, we're feeling pretty good after this victory. I mean, who would you want to face next round?
Probably, I honestly would love another crack at the Buccaneers.
Yeah. I would love another crack at the Buccaneers too.
Yeah, I think so. And I think at home, I think we got it.
Stay tuned. Go Birds.
Go Birds.
So I guess before we get into the next topic, that's something I kind of want to discuss too, is who do you want to see next round? We don't have a card for this, but I want to discuss it because I think it's interesting. It's between the Bucks, the Commanders, and it's the Rams or the Vikings, whoever wins that, right?
Yeah, so tonight, the game that's happening right now, if the Buccaneers win, we will play them. If the Commanders win, we will play the winner of the Vikings Rams game. So personally, I think I want another crack, like they all said, at the Buccaneers, because this season, last season, and 2 seasons before that, they took us out of the playoffs, and we're at home field advantage. I would like to play the Buccaneers again. I think this team is built for it. Again, Buccaneers have had a lot of injuries this season, and Baker Mayfield can shine some games, but I haven't really watched this game because it's in the background how he's playing. But I would love to play the Buccaneers next for sure. Redemption.
I feel like the last, and correct me if I'm wrong, I feel like the last 2 times we played the Buccaneers, we've been without AJ, correct? Because last year when we went into Tampa, he got injured at MetLife. No. And then this year, when we went into Tampa, didn't he have a concussion? He was out that game.
Yeah, because when we played him this season, AJ Brown was out. Devontae Smith was out. Was Dallas Goedert out, Josh? When we played the Bucs?
I think Dallas was in.
Yeah.
I feel like it was Paris Campbell and Paris Campbell and John Johnson.
It was Lane Johnson, Devontae Smith, and AJ Brown when we played them this season. We're out. So yes, you're right. And then in the playoffs when we played them last year, yes, he was out as well. AJ Brown was out. So again, AJ Brown's healthy. I think that would be a perfect game for him to break out if we get the Bucs next.
Because we wouldn't play the Commanders at all because they would go to Detroit right? Or am I wrong?
Yeah, because I mean the only way is if, let's say, the Commanders win tonight and then the Lions would play the Commanders, right, Josh? Yes. So yeah, the Lions would play the Commanders, and then if the Commanders beat the Lions, we could see them in the divisional championship.
Yeah, it would be the Bucks, the Rams, or the Vikings. So,
Right.
I mean, I wouldn't mind any of those matchups. I feel like honestly, if we played the Bucks, it would just be a revenge game, like you said. I feel like if we play the Vikings, I mean, every time the Vikings come into the Linc, it's kind of bad juju. I mean, you put a jersey on Rocky, so like that's just kind of bad juju for years. And then like the Rams are kind of like that sneaky team because you have Puka and Cooper. I put the two names together.
Yeah, he puts his both names together.
I put the two names together, but I think we could take any of those teams, really. It's just more so you got to clean up stuff from this week. You got to clean up the offense. Defense was fine. I mean, I can't say anything bad about the defense when you had 4 turnovers. And so they came to play. It probably would have been 5 turnovers if CJ didn't have Butterfingers for hands. Because it just slipped right through his fingers. But I think we take anybody. You just got to clean it up. And plus, it's at our house too. So, like, that's an advantage as well. I think, did they hand out rally towels last year for playoff games? I don't think they did.
I don't remember. I saw them. I mean, they were there.
Well, technically, we were in Tampa. So, we were in Tampa last year. But 2 years ago, I don't think they did.
No, I don't think so. I think this is the first year doing it. So that could be some bad juju. But we'll see. I mean, it would be cool to play the Vikings next because just back in like 2017, 2018, we played the Vikings to get into and then we won the Super Bowl. So, like you said, I really don't care who we play. I just know we will win no matter what. And I know we need to clean up our little mistakes and be able to tackle.
Yeah, I agree too. And we'll see what happens. But even if we do play the Vikings, I mean, the Vikings still got to get through this week. And Sam Darnold last week looked terrible. So we'll see what happens. But getting into our last topic, last thing we're going to talk about, it's finally happened. He saved up all his energy for the postseason, and Quinyon Mitchell called game today. Now, for any Packers fans watching, because I've seen this all over Twitter after it happened, Zach Bond holding, Zach Bond pass interference, whatever. I don't think it would have mattered anyway, because I mean, like, the Packers didn't have anything going. But it's great for him to kind of cap off for Quinyon to begin to cap off the end of the season with his first career interception in the playoffs. He's been super close all throughout the regular season. Had a few interceptions stolen from him from CJ and from Slay, but this was his. And he came up huge because, I mean, the Packers towards the end in garbage time were driving down the field. I felt like they were going to get a touchdown in garbage time. Not that it probably would have mattered. I mean, we probably still would have won. It just would have been a closer score. But huge. And it just shows that Howie Roseman, for another year, knows what the fuck he's doing.
Sure. Yeah, no, I think it's a bittersweet storybook ending to Quinyon's season. He has played his dick off all season long. He, like you said, had some interceptions brought from him, and he has played. Hopefully, he gets Defensive Rookie of the Year. And he's played every game with his heart on the sleeve, and the way he ended the Packers season is great. And that really is a powerful moment because he's been working all season long to get to this moment, and to see him seal the deal is just awesome. And the fucking celebration was amazing. I don't know any wrestlers out there, but he what's it called? What's that little thing called? Yeah. He pulled the pedigree, Triple H's signature move, and that was a great celly to end the game. So, yeah, I mean, we got to keep going. This is the start of something new, and this is the start
All right, is
of
this High School Musical?
yeah, it is.
Start of something new.
It is start of something new. This is a start to something special, and we still have take every game one by one. The overall picture is the Super Bowl, but take every game step by step, one by one.
Yeah, I agree. But that's kind of all we have for you guys this week. On to next week. We really don't know who we're playing yet, so we can't give you a definitive answer. Like we said earlier, it's either the Rams, the Bucks, or the Vikings. So let us know in the comments who you want to play next week. We'll put a poll up on Twitter as well. If you guys want to check Twitter at 302 Birds, you guys can vote on that. And if anything, for the main pod this week, we can put it up on there for the main results. And that can be a topic based on who we play. So definitely check out the Twitter 302 Birds. Vote on there. Vote for who you want to face next week. And with that, we'll see you guys on Wednesday. Go ahead. Take us out, Jack.
Eagles get the W 22-10. We don't care who's next. We'll kick their teeth in. But without further ado, hey Josh, it's an outro, not an intro. That motherfucking outro.
This is for you.
All roads lead through the playoffs in Philly.